So what are the opportunities out there in the world to become a yoga teacher? Why would you want to do a teacher training program in the first place? There are three, what I consider to be three main reasons why people pursue a teacher training program. Let's talk about all three. So I've been teaching yoga teachers, more specifically hot yoga, since that's what I'm an expert at, since the late 1980s. And in 2003, I started my own Barkan method teacher training program and certified over 2,500 people to this day. So based on applications, based on people that I've interviewed over the years, why they pursue a teacher training program, probably the most popular reason is that they were inspired by yoga. It helped them tremendously and they want to help other people. So they want to use it as a side hustle, maybe make some extra dollars. How much money does a yoga teacher make? Let's talk about that per class, an average teacher around the world. The average yoga teacher that teaches maybe a 60 to a 90-minute class makes an average between $40 and $50 a class. So it's not a tremendous amount of money. Also, if you're thinking about how much money I can make as a yoga teacher, it's probably not the greatest incentive. Unless you're thinking about the third option, we'll talk about that a little bit later. That's for the more committed yoga teacher that wants to become more of an entrepreneur. Before I give you the next tip, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you're enjoying this video. Any questions or concerns, if you want to learn more about the Barkan Method Teacher Training Program, I'll put links in the description below, or ask me a question in the comments below. I get to all the comments. The most successful teachers are the ones that just have to do it. They do yoga on a regular basis. If you're a teacher or considering about becoming a yoga teacher, you should be doing yoga at least 5 times a week. 4 times a week should be a minimum if you're a serious yoga student. But if you're a yoga teacher, at least 5 times a week. If you're familiar with my background, we were doing 3-4 classes a day in the old days, which I think is ridiculously too much. But one good solid class a day, 5 to 6 times a week, should be a minimum for a yoga teacher anyway. But if you're saying to myself, oh, let me just try, maybe I should try being a yoga teacher, I can make some extra money, that to me would be a recipe for failure. If this is something that you're really passionate about doing and helping other people and sharing with others what has helped you, and probably the most popular thing people say on their applications, they want to help other people and share with others what has helped them so much. So if you're interested in this first option, making $40, $50, $60 a class on a part-time basis, it's a very admirable profession and very self-fulfilling. When you teach a class and people come up to you afterwards and say, oh my God, I was in a rut. I came in that class afterwards. I feel so much better now. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you so much for teaching this great class. And it's a wonderful feeling to have. Now, sometimes studio owners will pay yoga teachers based on their experience. So if you're new to this whole subject of yoga teacher training programs, there's a couple categories. In order to become a yoga teacher, you earn a 200-hour yoga teacher certification. Now, the next step is to become a 500-hour certification, but there's really no 500-hour certificates. There's a 300-hour certificate. So when you submit your 300 hours to the one organization called Yoga Alliance, your 200 hours plus your 300-hour certificate earns you a 500-hour status. The Barkan method, we offer both options. 200-hour for people that are just learning to become yoga teachers, and the 300-hour for people who are already yoga teachers and want to take their practice and their teaching to the next level. And then there's a third level, of the highest level that you can earn through Yoga Alliance, and that's an ERYS, or an experienced yoga teacher, where you've logged 1,000 hours of teaching.
You've logged a lot of hours.
So in order to get your 300, let's go back to the 300, you have to also log 100 hours and you become a 500-hour teacher. But when you can log in 1,000 hours, then you become an experienced yoga teacher. So some studios will pay teachers based on their experience. If they're a 200-hour, 500-hour, or an E500-hour, you get a little bit more money from the yoga studio owner. Now, in other options, people that want to do a teacher training program, they really have no interest in teaching, but they want to immerse themselves in the subject and the science of yoga. And what better way to do that than a teacher training program? Because you're going to learn history. You're going to learn beginning modifications all the way through to advanced amplifications for every pose. In the Barkan method world, we come based out of the Bikram and then his teacher Vishnu Ghosh world, as well as learning how the original intention of yoga was spiritual and how we transitioned into the physical, or what's known as postural yoga. So historically, it's important to understand why they chose the name yoga in the first place. It was to yoke, or union, so that man is connected to the universe, is connected to God. So it's a very spiritual intention. The last 100 years, especially as yoga migrated to the West, we got more into the physical, mental aspect of yoga. So a lot of people believe that yoga is just the union of the mind, body, and the soul, which is true. And I tell this to people in my teacher training program. It's not just the union of your mind, your body, and your soul. It's the union of your mind, body, and soul with the universe. So that's the spiritual bigger picture, which you're going to learn in my teacher training programs and some other ones as well. And one reason why people really have no interest in teaching, a lot of times people are self-conscious or they're nervous speaking in front of people. They say it's the biggest fear of all. It's a bigger fear than death.
I have a fear of public speaking.
Oh boy.
Is to speak in front of people. That, I think, is one of my specialties, is to help you get over your self-consciousness, over your nervousness. What I say to my teacher training program people or my teacher trainees, I say it's not about you, it's about them. So get the focus off of yourself. Don't worry about how you're doing. You can do that later. You can evaluate how you're teaching after you're finished. Focus on them, then you get all the attention off of yourself. And I have the famous saying in my teacher training programs, nervousness is selfishness. If you're so nervous about how you're doing, it's not about you, it's about them. And that's the synergy that you're going to have with you and your future students, is probably why you're listening to this video in the first place. And now the third option for those of you that are already teachers, or you're thinking about becoming a teacher, but you want to take it to the next level. You want to take it to the new heights. You want to possibly open up a yoga studio or maybe multiple yoga studios. And now there's a whole bunch of online options. You can do online classes. You can do online workshops, or you can start to do workshops as you become more experienced as a teacher. One of the senior Barkan teachers in Reykjavik, Iceland, Anne-Marie, she's doing workshops now at the studio that she works in. And other Barkan senior teachers like Lana Vogelstad, she continues to do workshops all over the world, all over the United States, and also in Iceland. She's really responsible for bringing hot yoga, the Barkan method, to Iceland originally. So there are lots of opportunities out there, but if you're going to take it to the next level, you're going to go to that next level where you're going to open up a studio or multiple studios or do a whole online entrepreneurship, online classes, YouTube videos like this one, then you have to be almost borderline obsessive, because in order to do that, there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of people that are into it. Your passion is going to drive you to a higher place. Your passion is going to be the fuel behind your success. I've seen a lot of studio owners that really weren't teachers. They were just entrepreneurs. They were just interested in making money. And in my opinion, a lot of those schools didn't make it because they didn't have the passion behind it, because they didn't have the yogic foundation behind their passion. And the competition is really irrelevant. And I'll tell you why, because it's about your own individual energy and passion. People are going to be drawn to that. That's what's going to make you successful. Some people may not like your personality and may not take your class, and that's fine. Not every single person on the planet is going to be attracted to your energy. I used to say this in my teacher training program: I can line 1,000 people down the street that don't like my class and they won't come up to my class. Hopefully I can line up 10,000 on the other side of the street that do. So if you're willing and is vulnerable to let yourself come out, to let your authentic voice come out, that's what's going to set you apart, and that's going to make you successful as a yoga teacher. And I believe that that's, again, one of my specialties, is bringing out your true authentic self. I don't want you to copy me. I don't want you to copy Bikram. I don't want you to be copying somebody that you think is successful. You can emulate that person, but you got to find your own authentic voice and let the words come through your passion. Nobody can copy you. You are unique and authentic. No one will ever do yoga the way you do. No one will ever teach yoga the way you do. But when you have that passion underneath, and I say this is probably the most important thing that I tell my teacher training people, when you have that passion underneath, it's going to shine through. And that's what the students are going to be drawn to. That's why they're going to come and take your class. If you're feeling self-conscious, you're feeling nervous, if you're trying to just copy somebody else, it's not going to be as successful as your own passion coming through those words and inspiring your students, inspiring yourself to be a successful yoga teacher. And once again, in the Barkan method world, we have 200-hour options if you want to just learn to be a yoga teacher from the ground level, or a 300-hour option to take you to the next level, to get you to that 500-hour teacher status. We have live trainings and we have online trainings. The advantage of a live training is you've got the synergy of all those people that are around you. And in 2024, we've got level 2 trainings in Virginia, in Costa Rica, and Iceland, and Fort Lauderdale. Look down at the description below. But we also offer an online teacher training program for both the 200 and the 300-hour options. And that you could start today, actually. You put your application in. You could start, maybe not today, but tomorrow. But you can start right away of no travel expense, and you do it at the convenience of your own home. So once again, it's a very admirable profession. It's a very admirable career to pursue if you just want to be a part-time yoga teacher and you just want to help other people. Put a couple extra dollars in your pocket at the same time, sharing your passion. It's a wonderful and admirable course to pursue. If you're just looking to immerse yourself in the subject of yoga, no better way to do that than the teacher training programs. But if you're the real serious entrepreneur, you want to take it to the next level, open studios, multiple studios, online courses, I can also help you with that option as well. Being a yoga teacher for over 42 years now. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Smash the like button. You want to learn all about hot yoga, tutorials and flows and factoids. And I thank you for watching. We'll see you at the next video. Bye, everyone.